Coming up, a train ride through the Mount Washington Valley aboard the Conway Scenic Railroad.
The laughs covering the depression. Rodney Dangerfield confronts depression on a personal level.
And we'll meet some guardian angels keeping children safe on the way home from school. All this and more is next on Time for Living. Hello, I'm Howard Dales.
And I'm Janet Jagalian. Welcome to Time for Living. We're coming to you today from aboard the Conway Scenic Railroad train on a gorgeous day in North Conway, New Hampshire.
In today's show, we're going to take you on a visit to North Conway's shopping malls and national brand merchandise. And then we're going to have a romantic dinner right here on the Conway Scenic Railroad train.
And in our second effort salute, we'll meet some grandparents who are helping to make our children's trip to and from school a safe and pleasant one.
And we'll find out how Rodney Dangerfield really feels amidst all of those jokes and how he helps others to avoid their depression. We begin our trip aboard one of the country's most unique train rides, the North Conway Scenic Railroad. In 1973, the Conway Scenic Railroad began its first year of operation. Since then, the rail line has grown to cover over 30 miles of passenger service with steam locomotives and diesel-electric engines pulling passenger cars from North Conway to Conway, Bartlett, and Fabian Station. Some of the eastern United States' most dramatic scenery can be seen on the Valley train and the Crawford Notch train.
As another beautiful summer day begins at the Conway Scenic Railroad, former Canadian National Locomotive 7470 moves out of the old Boston and Maine roundhouse, built in the early 1870s. Repeating the same routine as it did when Conway Scenic Railroad first opened its doors in 1974. The sound of the steam whistle rebounds off the mountains as engine 7470 returns to the North Conway station to couple up to the passenger cars to begin the first trip of the day. Children, young folk, and old-timers alike are thrilled with the renewed spirit of the great American iron horse rumbling through the countryside, bringing to life a sense of adventure once left only to the pages of history books. In 1994, Conway Scenic Railroad began its 21st operating season and found itself on the threshold of its first major expansion. Just west of the North Conway station, the Conway branch connects with the abandoned tracks of the Maine Central Railroad Mountain Subdivision through Crawford Notch, a scenic mountain passage that hadn't seen a regular passenger train since 1958. In 1993, the state of New Hampshire took steps to purchase the line and sought proposals from various companies to rehabilitate and operate passenger train excursions. After a lengthy application process, Conway Scenic Railroad was selected to rehabilitate the trackage, provide the train, and operate the service. Passengers were treated to a spectacular view from Frankenstein Trestle of Mount Washington in the distance. Passenger service now leaves North Conway, passes through Bartlett, and climbs through Crawford Notch, and begins a descent to Fabian Station, all in the shadow of Mount Washington. On this part of the Crawford Notch line, passengers can view the spectacular and historic Mount Washington Hotel. Fabian Station served as the departure point for the Mount Washington Hotel and was also the connection to the Cog Railroad that climbs to the top of the 6,288-foot Mount Washington, the highest mountain in the Northeast. with the return of passenger service to Fabian Station, the Crawford Notch line covers almost 30 miles of track and climbs over 1,300 feet, thrilling passengers from all over the world with the trip of a lifetime. The incredible view of the White Mountains comes to life on the Conway Scenic Railroad in the fall with a splendid palette of fall foliage as the colors of fall paint Crawford Notch and the Mount Washington Valley brilliant reds, oranges, and yellows.
This is the engine cab of the Conway Scenic Railroad engine number 573, the engine that's pulling the train today. When we return, we'll have Russ Seabolt, the general manager of the Conway Scenic Railway. Time for Living continues in a moment.
As we continue our wonderful train trip from Bartlett, New Hampshire back to North Conway. We have an opportunity to see a little different sight and learn a little more, because with us is the general manager of the Conway Scenic Railroad train, Russ Siebold. And Russ, it's nice to meet you. And it's wonderful to have a chance to sit on a train that has so much history and so much beauty and comfort as well. So first tell us how you got the concept to have this scenic train.
Well, over 20 years ago, Dwight Smith, who was the founder of the railroad, and two other investors decided that this was a perfect place. North Conway is a perfect place at the station that we have there in North Conway to have a tourist train operation. So they started that operation over 20 years ago.
And what did you have to do to get this thing really rolling? I mean, you had to buy trains, you had to deal with the road, the bed of the train as well?
Everything. The station in North Conway was the first thing that was purchased, the property there, and they renovated the station that was built in 1874, and also bought trains and cars, and over the years we've acquired different cars and actually changed some of the consist. We call it the consist when we make up our train. This particular car that we're riding in, the Gertrude Emma, which was built in 1898, was purchased in 1985, refurbished and put on the line. It's been operating.
Where was this train actually being used?
This, when it was in regular passenger service, it was on the Pennsylvania Limited, operated between Chicago and New York. Many years ago, the wooden cars were outlawed from going in the tunnels that led into New York. So this car then came out of its regular service and was used as an instructional car for the railroad.
Now there's a lot of detail here. There's inlays in the wood and ornate additions to the columns and all. And this was all the design of whom? Do you know?
I don't know who the person was that designed it, but it was built by the Pullman Company. And in that time, there was a great deal of detail that was employed in putting the cars together. This car in the area we're sitting was where we would sit and converse as we are, and maybe have a drink as we rode between New York and Chicago over several days. And there were staterooms that were in the forward part of the car, and if we got tired, we would go and sleep.
And where would the dining car be in relationship to this?
Well, the dining car would be somewhere else in the train, as it is in this train. Our dining car is our next car, and if we got hungry, we'd go into the dining car and have a nice sit down and have a nice meal.
I understand the meals are phenomenal.
They're fantastic.
Yeah.
I can say that because we don't handle the food in terms of Conway Scenic Railroad. Horse Feathers, who does an excellent job, is a partner of ours in the dining car, and they do all of the food service, and they prepare all of the food on board. It's not prepared somewhere else and brought over and warmed up.
Tell me about the staff that works the train. Are these former train people, or do they come from all walks of life?
They basically now come from all walks of life, but we do have some that were train members before. Many of them actually have been trained here. They've been here long enough. We've been in business over 20 years. The engineer today, Courtney Gregg, came here as a young fellow who wanted to work on the railroad, and so he's been a veteran of many years, and he's our engineer today.
Is it difficult to maintain this operation? I mean, I'm sure that there is constant care that's required. Is that a major part of what you do?
We maintain everything, and maintenance is a big part of what we do, because the tracks we're riding on need maintenance, the cars we're riding in need maintenance, all the mechanical operating devices need maintenance, the wheels, the brakes, the locomotives. So we have quite a few people that are on the staff that are maintenance type people.
And Russ, where do you get the cars? Where do you go out to auctions, or do you just hear about trains that are no longer in use?
We've gotten them just about every way that you can imagine. Years ago, there were cars that came up as surplus cars from the railroad, and we would go and we would bid on those cars and bring them in. For a period of time, then the railroad was cut off. We didn't have a way of bringing cars in on rail. So when we would go out and we would buy them, we would have to bring them in on flatbed trucks. Fortunately,
that
we're
must
now.
have been a sight.
Oh yes, it is. In fact, we brought one locomotive in on a flatbed truck. That's quite a sight to see it going up the highway. most recently, the cars that we've purchased up in Canada. We have an opening now because we go to Whitefield, New Hampshire, and we can interchange with another railroad. And the last cars that we bought and the locomotives that we purchased came some from Canada. The locomotive that we're running today actually came from the Guilford Rail Company. We bought that in April of '96.
Boy, a little bit of everything,
Yes.
for sure. Now, this is the Bartlett to back to North Conway trip, and this is a 55-minute round trip. Is that correct?
This is an hour and 3/4.
An hour and 3/4.
21 miles from North Conway to Bartlett, and then we return on the same tracks. Yeah.
Then you have the one that goes to Crawford Notch.
Yes.
Tell us about that train.
We consider the Crawford Notch train sort of our premier ride. If you're a real rail fan and want to go for a long time and converse with people and enjoy the spectacular views.
How does that differ from this train?
Well, when we went from North Conway to Bartlett, we were going on part of the trip. But then from Bartlett, the Crawford Notch train goes on up to Crawford Notch. It covers 60 miles round trip, and it climbs. When it gets to Bartlett, it starts to really climb the side of the mountain until we get to a place we call the Gateway, which is at Crawford Notch, just shy of Crawford Station. And then that train goes on to Fabian Station, turns around there, and then comes back. And that's a different train set. That's not any part of this train set.
But I understand that once you got the Crawford Notch run set up, and that was back in what, 1990? Is that
In
roughly?
September of 1995, we ran our first trains.
But then shortly after that, you had somewhat of a disaster.
We had a major disaster. We had gotten all the tracks rehabbed. We had run the train during the fall of that year, and all of a sudden we had a tremendous storm, and the storm created 4 large washouts. So you could put an apartment building in a couple of them, and one of them wiped out one of our bridges up there. So we spent the early part of that season getting the tracks back in shape, and we ran the train on June the 22nd. There were a few bets going on whether we would or wouldn't be able to do that, but the fellows worked hard, and we had some contractors come in, so we ran that train on schedule.
Well, this certainly is the peak season for foliage and just for immense beauty here in the mountains. So I assume this is your peak season as well.
It's our peak season, and it's a wonderful time of the year. It's the kind of one of the best seasons of the year. You can get the sweatshirts and the sweaters out and wear those and enjoy the nice mountain air. And of course, the fall foliage is coming on pretty strong. This is the first weekend, and probably for the next 3 or 4 weekends, there will be lots of people up, plus during the middle of the week.
How many passengers are on that Crawford Notch run?
Today we have a little over 350 people on that particular train.
And on this one?
On this one, I don't know how many are on here, but let's say over 100 people probably on this particular ride.
And these run how many times a day and how many times a week?
Well, we run every day of the week, and we run the 1-hour trip 3 times during the day, and we run the hour and 3/4 trip up to Bartlett twice a day on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, because we're doing fine dining on the dining car. We have an evening train that leaves at 6 o'clock, gets back at 7:45.
And what about the seasons? Does it run all year round, or just from certain warmer months, or what?
We run basically from the middle of April to the 3rd week in December. Now in November, December, we run weekends only, and we do a fantastic ride called the Polar Express, which we do the 3 weekends in December.
Does that mean there's no heat on board?
Oh no, oh no.
When you say polar, I didn't know.
We do have heated coaches.
Yeah.
This car is heated, and we have some air-conditioned cars for in the middle of the summertime. Our dining car is air-conditioned, or climate-controlled as we call it. But the Polar Express is based on the book by Chris Van Allsburg, and we reenact that.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah, it's a fantastic time.
Now, if people come on board and they don't necessarily want to enjoy the dining car, there is also snacks and things they can enjoy as well.
Right, they can ride on the coach cars, and there's a little snack bar on coach so that they can enjoy just a light snack.
So what kind of passengers are you looking for? I mean, who are you trying to attract to come to enjoy this train ride?
We think we appeal to all ages and basically all types of people, because we offer 3 different kinds of trips. We offer a trip like the 1 hour trip on our Conway run for the family, so it's affordable, it's fun to get the kids out and have a train ride. We offer fine dining at dinner, that's a little bit more expensive, but that's for us to celebrate anniversaries or birthdays or any special occasion. And then of course for the real rail fan that wants to ride all day and really enjoy the train ride, we have the Crawford Notch train.
I envision a fabulous time on a wedding on this train.
Absolutely.
Have you had any weddings?
Oh, many.
Oh, really?
Many, yes. In fact, my wedding reception was held on this very car.
Is that right?
Yes.
And you went up to Crawford Notch?
We didn't go to Crawford Notch, but we went up to Bartlett and on the same ride that we're doing right now.
And this, it's within the realm of ease for people to, I mean, the fare is not that expensive, and it's easy for families to enjoy as well.
Yes, yes. Weddings, I think we probably had about 5 or 6 weddings this year on the train. We think it is family affordable. You're right.
What about an unusual birthday party? Would that be something
yes,
you would...
we've had, for the little kids, sometimes we've had a birthday party on the train, and as a part of that party, we get to take the kids up in the engine to meet with the engineer. That's a part of their little birthday package.
I don't know how you guarantee the weather to be as perfect as it is today, but is this the usual?
This is, it's always like this.
It is absolutely glorious.
It's a wonderful day,
and it's a perfect time of year, and I do hope that more and more people have a chance to come up here and enjoy it. It's really been a pleasure to meet you and to learn more about the Conway Scenic Railroad. It's just exciting.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to meet you, and we always welcome people to come up. That's part of our business, is finding new friends.
Russ Siebold, the general manager, that is, of the the Conway Scenic Railroad train.
Our engineer today is Courtney Gregg, who controls the engine and speed and the throttle and brake controls of both the engine 573 and the passenger cars with these controls. Now, this is the throttle over here, and he also controls with the brake lever here. Still ahead on Time for Living, some very special people who take care of some very special children when we come back.
Welcome back to Time for Living. When Ann Wilder started buying pounds of cumin from her local Indian market, she had no idea that at the age of 50, she was about to learn.
Welcome Welcome back to Time for Living. We're on board the Conway Scenic Railway, and we're in the parlor car, the Gertrude Emma. The Gertrude Emma was built in 1893 and then refurbished by the Conway Scenic Railway Company. Now, the Gertrude Emma was very common back in the heyday of railroading. Right now, we're waiting for the passengers to board. And while we are, let's turn to another subject. Have you ever wondered how safe your children and your grandchildren are as they go back and forth to school?
Well, if you ask them, they probably would tell you that they look a lot like Grandma and Grandpa. And Mary Norton now introduces us to some people who act as the guardian angels of our children as they go to and from school.
Search and cross.
All over Pinellas County, Florida, retired seniors are filling the part-time job of school safety officer.
The benefits of having senior citizens as employees with the Sheriff's Department is that they are very reliable people. They take the job very seriously. Most of them are looking for a couple of hours of work to do, and we seem to fill that need.
Each morning, Sam Graves stands between motorists on their way to work and children on their way to school, making sure their journey is a safe one.
Morning, young ladies. How are you this morning?
Sam, with his wife Catherine, makes sure school children have no trouble crossing these busy streets.
The reason I became a crossing guard was because my husband and I both are retired and we like kids, and it was a job where we could function without having a lot of hours.
Across town, William Stetcher does his part to protect the children as they venture off to school. Why does he do it?
For a number of reasons. First one is because it's a responsible job. The safety of the children is first. The second thing is it gives you good reason to get up in the morning. And the third thing is because for the 2 hours, the pay isn't bad.
I have a little girl that gets off the bus, and I have her come over and stand over here in case her parents are late. That way I can watch her and make sure that she is safe and getting in the right car.
Whatever their reasons are,
You ought to put that money in your pocket. Don't be carrying it like that. People will see it.
you can count on their commitment to keeping children safe.
Okay.
I'm Mary Norton reporting.
It's good to know that there are responsible people and programs that watch over our children as they go to and from school.
Yeah, especially when crossing the street. That can be pretty hazardous, crossroads, etc. Now, if you know of anyone or a program who is deserving of a Second Effort Salute, then let us know about it.
Simply write to Time for Living, care of Second Effort Salute, Post Office Box 8542, Boston, Massachusetts 02114.
Or call our voicemail at 800-232-7213, or even fax us at 617-329-1774, and we'll profile them in our Second Effort Salute.
Stay with us. We have more Time for Living just ahead. Conway, New Hampshire is also known as the Mount Washington Valley. Originally, this valley became noted for its wonderful skiing in the late 1940s and remained a sleepy little ski village for the next 20 or so years. Then, as the American public began to travel, Mount Washington Valley not only remained a ski center, but it also became a shopping mecca. Today, the Valley offers some of the finest brand-name outlet shops in the country. Everything from clothes to outdoor camping supplies to furniture and kitchen supplies can be found. Shopping has now become one of America's most favorite pastimes, and what better place to shop than in and around the beautiful scenery of New Hampshire's Mount Washington Valley. One of the finest ways of ending a perfect day of shopping and outdoor activities is to step back into the past and have a relaxing dinner aboard the Conway Scenic Railroad dinner train. The train leaves North Conway Station and slowly travels to Bartlett, New Hampshire and back for a leisurely 2-hour ride. A fantastic 4-course meal is prepared by Horse Feathers Restaurant. You can sit back and relax and watch the spectacular scenery pass by and the sun slowly set on the Mount Washington Valley as you enjoy a nostalgic trip back into the past aboard the dining car Chicora. Fun for young and old alike, a pleasant and romantic train ride that will always be remembered.
If you have any questions regarding today's Traveling Around segment, you can write to us at Time for Living, care of Traveling Around, P.O. Box 8542, Boston, Massachusetts 02114.
Or you can call us at 800-233-7213. You can fax us at 617-329-1774. When Time for Living continues, financial expert Steve Burke reviews the elements you should have when thinking about retiring.
In a whole new way. When you call for your copy of the world's best travel values, absolutely free. Inside, you'll discover a completely new way to travel that's planned and paced exclusively for mature travelers. At last, discover the joy of meeting local people in the places you visit and learn about their unique culture and customs and experience their greatest art and architecture. From a picnic in the Swiss Alps to the spice markets of Istanbul, Grand Circle Travel invites you to discover the world in a whole new way. Call for your free copy of the world's best travel values today. To receive complete details on how you can discover the world in a whole new way with Grand Circle Travel, including your free copy of the world's best travel values, call toll-free 1-800-966-2768. That's 1-800-966-2768. Call today.
Welcome back to Time for Living. We're coming to you from on board the Scenic Conway Railroad train from North Conway, New Hampshire.
It's time now for our Health, Finance, and More segment with Steve Burke. And Steve has a deal for you when it comes to your retirement planning.
So whether you're in your retirement years or just planning ahead for those years, you'll want to listen to Steve Burke as he tells you what you need to know.
Today, we're going to review the forms, documents, and facts we all need to have in hand by the time we retire or soon thereafter. May I strongly recommend that you set a goal of having this task done 1 month from today. If you miss by a couple of days, I won't be mad. First in your agenda should be a list of the documents which you need to have easy access to always. These are any and all policies, homeowners, health insurance, car insurance, etc., which you or someone working on your behalf would need to produce when called for. Next are legal documents such as deeds to property, wills and trusts, life insurance and annuity policies, as well as powers of attorney and Social Security and Medicare information, if available. Veterans benefits, if appropriate, should also be noted in your list. By having a list of all the property and valuable papers you have, it becomes easier for you, family members, and anyone else who might be assisting you to maintain good control of your assets. Sad to say, many of us as we get older, and particularly as we enter retirement, become forgetful. Since a great many of your assets, such as IRAs or other pension plans, may provide income for you, it's important to know their whereabouts. A list first indicates what you have and where it is. With the forms, documents, and valuable papers properly located, you should also have in place the instructions to go with them. A quick example of not being prepared when the time comes. Should you not prepare for coverage under Medicare before you are 65, it could cost you money and a lack of medical coverage. My advice? Contact the Social Security people, Medicare people, 2 to 3 months before you become eligible. Having a list of assets is also a way of facing facts. It's very important to look at what you have in an objective way. Without knowledge of those things of value which you have accumulated over your working lifetime, you may be hard put to know what you can expect for income in retirement. This is where the facts to face come in. A budget for retirement is an extremely important piece of information. It points out the good and the bad, and it is important to know both the good news and the bad news. By having a real practical idea of your financial needs in retirement, you have the opportunity to restructure certain assets to serve you better than originally planned. An example, If you have enough assets to last after 65, you can increase the value of your IRA investments or income you realize from it. Or an annuity could be earmarked to pay the premiums for nursing home insurance automatically. All of your lists and valuable papers should be located so that you or someone helping you can get to them easily. Many times, savings bank, passbooks, and checking accounts get misplaced. By putting as much as possible in list form prevents us from overlooking things of value, real or personal. Updating your list is also important because we often overlook the fact that a change in our life can create a change and maybe a problem because we don't update our important papers. Should a spouse pass away, there can be substantial exposure to the best laid plans for your retirement. Wills and trust would need changes, to say nothing of budgets, gifts, and control of assets. Joint ownership of investments, property, and retirement plans need to be reevaluated from time to time as we move through the retirement years. A list is a quick and easy way to look at those things we possess to see if change is called for. An example of something which should be on hand, should change occur, is a contract, like a deferred compensation contract with your employer. By having a copy of the deferred compensation contract with your valuable papers, you can quickly research the impact of your employer selling to a new company or merging with another business. Notes or mortgages should be kept where you or your helper can get them easily. As time passes in retirement, papers such as military discharge papers, birth and marriage certificates, adoption papers, or divorce records become increasingly important to have available. Areas such as stored and loaned possessions, citizenship papers, in short, anything which is going to impact you or your family needs to be identified somewhere, and a list is a good place to begin. A good idea is to sit down with your spouse, friend, or some family member and draw up a list with their input too. Should you need an example to help you get started, give the show a call and we'll send you a sample list. The retirement years can be very exciting times, but getting organized for retirement can be rewarding and informative. I'm Steve Burke, Time for Living.
If you didn't get all that information Steve wanted to share with you, then you can write to him here at Time for Living, care of Health, Finance, and More, Post Office Box 8542, Boston, Massachusetts, 02114.
Or you can call him and leave your message at 1-800-232-7213 or fax us at 617-329-1774 with your request. When Time for Living continues, depression. No matter how much you laugh and try to create laughter, you still can't overcome the effects of depression. And Rodney Dangerfield will share with us his experiences in fighting the lifelong bout with depression. Welcome back to Time for Living. The welfare reform bill signed by President Clinton last summer will go into full effect this August. Recently, there has been much media attention focused on the impact this will have on welfare mothers and their families, who will be hit the hardest.
However, many of you may not be aware that some 500,000 impoverished seniors will be hit just as hard. They'll be cut off from their Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, and food stamp benefits. Mary Norton reports on the growing concern.
You ever look at celebrities and think, boy, if I had their fame and fortune, life would be so easy?
It's a common misconception, according to Rodney Dangerfield, who just came out about his lifelong bout with depression. In today's Newsbreak, Mary Norton explains Rodney Dangerfield's interview that's going to be aired on PBS's Health Week.
I tell you, I don't get no respect at all.
Rodney Dangerfield has been entertaining audiences with his self-deprecating humor on the screen and stage for over 60 years.
People very often see you one way and they think, oh, he must be a lot of fun all the time. You know what I mean? They think comedians are never depressed. They're always happy. This doesn't work that way, though.
You want the driver?
No, he's not my type. And that's a joke. I'm kidding. Yeah, give me the driver, will you?
Dangerfield has helped others beat the blues by making them laugh, but unfortunately, it does not have the same effect on him.
That'd be a great remedy. If they laugh at you, wow, now I feel better, right? I'd be doing 20 shows a day.
The more frequently that public figures reveal that they've had this illness in a matter-of-fact way and talk about recovery, talk about how treatment works, I think, A, that gives hope to other people, but B, it begins to erode some of the stigma.
For Dangerfield, relief came 2 years ago when, after 12 tries, he found someone who understood.
That's what I went through, you know, finding the right doctor who you can communicate with, who you respect, and if he suggests putting you on pills, then listen to him and try it. I have only one thing to say to you today. It's a jungle out there. You got to look out for number one. How am I able to cope with it today better than before? Well, there's something about age, I guess. You look at life differently when you get older. So I try to create a life now where there's least tension for me. At this point in my life, I have the least tension of any point in my life right now. As you go out into the world, my advice to you is, don't go. It's rough out there. Move back with your parents. Let them worry about it.
I'm Mary Norton reporting.
This interview with Rodney Dangerfield can be seen in its entirety on PBS Health Week, so do check your local listings for the date and time.
One way, of course, to fight depression is with medication. And a recent survey in the United States shows that 66% of the people over age 65 take a prescription or non-prescription drug. Now, though they represent only 12% of the population, they account for 30% of prescription medications.
While women take more medications than older men, this because of their older average age, together, adults take 4.5 prescription drugs per year and 2.1 non-prescription drugs, filling on average 12 to 17 prescriptions a year. At present, drugs are covered by only a few health insurance programs, yet it represents one of the highest out-of-pocket expenses for older Americans. In today's Medical Minute, Dr. Alan Abrams will present to us all we need to know about the consumption of medications.
Aging itself makes one more likely to accumulate diagnoses which are treated with a variety of medications. For the physician, prescribing to an older adult requires the most keen clinical awareness of the risks and benefits, not to mention the cost. This is because as we age, we undergo normal changes in the way we handle drugs that make us more vulnerable to adverse effects or unexpected outcomes. Studies have demonstrated the more medicines we take, the more likely we are to experience an adverse reaction. There are several important things your physician should do when starting you on a medication. 1. Bring in a bag with all your medications. Adding medications without full knowledge of what you already take can lead to drug-drug interactions, change the effectiveness of treatment in place, require dosing adjustments, or a number of other considerations for your physician. 2, create clear goals and limits on the use of a medication. If a legitimate trial of a medication for your headache isn't taking care of the problem, then you and your physician should have a clear understanding it is time to think about another alternative. 3, discuss any reasonable non-medication strategies for coping with your medical dilemma. Relaxation techniques for anxiety and hypertension, and the like, nutritional alterations for edema or high cholesterol, are but 2 examples of how you can alleviate a medical problem without increasing your risk of medical complications with medicines. 4, when you're older, your physician should start with relatively low doses of medications and work up slowly. Start low and go slow is a good general rule when trying to find the right dose for you. 5, you should be educated about your medication. Never refrain from asking about the medicines you are taking. Your physician will be able to better monitor you for proper response if you are well informed. The more you know, the more likely you will take the medication correctly. 6, review your current medication regimen regularly. Many times, new conditions create the need for medicine that has effectiveness in more than one area. Many medications for blood pressure treat swollen ankles. Antidepressants often relax the bladder, and so on. You may not need to stay on all your medicines to keep you feeling your best. Your physician should work with you to advise you how to minimize your medication regimen. 7, consider any symptom you report a potential side effect of a drug you are already taking. Many medications cause adverse effects: tiredness, shortness of breath, confusion of varying degrees, constipation, etc., is as likely caused by a medication you are taking as it is a primary symptom itself. Dose reduction trials under the supervision of your physician can help distinguish this for you. You may be able to feel better and reduce your pharmacy costs when medication is considered a possible cause of your symptoms. Medications are a blessing when taken correctly under the watchful eye of your physician. Too often, older adults accumulate a cabinet of medications to take regularly. Talk with your physician about keeping your medication regimen to the bare minimum to sustain your health. Discuss non-pharmacological options in the treatment of symptoms before running to the pharmacy with another prescription. You may save yourself some money, improve your vitality, simplify your daily routine, and keep your later years a time for living. I'm Dr. Alan Abrams with your Medical Minute.
If you'd like more information on today's Medical Minute, then write to Time for Living, Post Office Box 8542, Boston, Massachusetts 02114.
Or simply call us at 1-800-232-7213 or fax your questions to 617-329-1774.
We'll be back with more Time for Living aboard the Conway Scenic Railroad, running between Bartlett, New Hampshire and North Conway, New Hampshire.